Hello students, welcome back with a new lesson with science. This lesson speaks about states of matter. At first we must know what's the meaning of kinetic theory. Everything, whether a solid, a liquid or a gas, is made up of moving particles. We have known before when we study energy and energy transformation, we know that any materials consist of tiny particles. These particles continuously moving. If it gained energy, it will be more faster. If it lost energy, it will be more slower. The word kinetic means moving, and the theory that everything is made up of moving particles is called kinetic theory. This kinetic theory have a different postulate. At first, materials made up of tiny particles, and these particles keep moving. The next is attraction between particles. A physical attraction. Particles attract each other. They all tend to want to stick together. There are attraction force between particle and its neighbor to keep them together. This attraction force is changed from solid to liquid and gas, as we will see. At first, gases. The particles of a gas only attract each other very slightly, so the attraction force between particles of a gas is very slightly, so the particles are more or less free to race away anywhere they can, so the particles can move anywhere. Gases fill any container of any size, volume or shape. The particles of gas can spread in anywhere and take the shape of the container like this. There is a lot of spaces between the particles, which makes the gases very lightweight. So this is a lot. There is a lot of space between the particles, which makes gases very lightweight. Gases have a low density, so the space between particles is very great. We have a great spaces between particles in a gas, so it has a very lightweight and low density. If we compare between liquids and gas, we will see the particles of liquid are close to each other, not like gas. In gas we have great space between particles, but in liquids attract to each other by slightly stronger than gases, so the attractive force between particle of liquid is more than the attractive force between particles of gases, so keep together. The particles of liquid attract each other much more than particles of gases. Particles are closely attracted to their neighbors, however, because they are always moving, the particles are continuously changing neighbors. This means liquids have no fixed shape. They will fill the bottom of any container, so it will take the shape of the container, but it has a fixed volume. Yes, liquids too, however, have a fixed volume. The volume of the liquid didn't change. The particles of a liquid are close together, so liquids tend to be heavy. Yes, heavy weight. Liquids have also a high density than gases. Solids. The particles of solid attract each other very strongly. The attractive force between particles of solids are very strong. They attract each other so strongly that they stay attracted to the same neighbors. The only moving they can do is vibrating to and fro. To and fro, it means go front and back, like this, but it's short distance, not a great distance, just short vibration. about a fixed position. This means that solids have a fixed shape and fixed volume because particles just vibrate, so it keeps its shape and volume also. The particles are all cramped together, so yes, solids tend to be heavyweight. Solids have also a high density compared with solid, liquid, and gas. Speeding up particles. When you heat a solid, the particles vibrate faster. The particles vibrate faster if we give it thermal energy. When you heat a liquid, the particles move faster, and when you heat a gas, the particles whiz around even faster. The particles whiz round even faster. The particles whiz round even faster. So, if we give the particle of liquid or gas or solid heat, it will be more faster. This is because heat is energy. When you heat substances, the particles gain energy. When particles gain energy, they move faster. This energy or thermal energy, it will change to kinetic energy. Melting process. We will study different processes: melting, freezing, evaporation, boiling, and freezing, and sublimation. At first, we'll study melting. Melting is a process in which we change the matter from solid to liquid. If you heat a solid, the particles vibrate faster because it gains energy. At the melting point, some particles are vibrating so fast that they break free of their neighbors, like this picture. In this picture, the particles arrangement as a pattern and just vibrating with low temperature. But if we raise the temperature, the particle will start moving faster and overcome the attractive force between particles. Particles will slide over each other or can be poured, so it will change from solid to liquid. They become loosely attracted to their new neighbors. They become particles of liquid. Evaporation. The particles of a liquid are constantly changing speed. What does it mean? It means the particles at the bottom of the liquid, its speed changes than the speed of the particle on the surface. At any time, some particles are moving faster than others. So, the particle on the surface, it will be more faster than the particles in the bottom. When particles is moving quickly at the surface of a liquid, it may break free of its neighbors. It becomes the particles of a gas. The particle of the surface, if it give enough energy to overcome the attractive force between the particle and its neighbor, it will be escape from the surface of the liquid and start to be gas. This process is called evaporation. It can take place at any temperature, and we will know the difference between evaporation and boiling. Evaporation, you must remember that evaporation takes place on the surface and it takes place at any temperature. Now, boiling. Boiling is the process in which we change the material from liquid to gas. When liquids get hotter, the particles move faster. When liquids is boiling, the particles are moving so fast they break free of their neighbors. So, all particles will have energy, not only the particles on the surface. So, the boiling is happening for all particles on the liquid at the bottom and also on the surface. They become the particle of a gas. This is happening throughout the liquid, not only on the surface. This process is called boiling. the temperatures at which this happens is called the boiling point, and have a certain temperature that become boil. So if I ask you what is the difference between boiling and evaporation, evaporation happens or takes place on the surface and at any temperature, but boiling takes place over all the liquid and at a certain point. It's called boiling point. Freezing. As the liquid cools, the particles move slower. When a liquid freezing, some of the particles are moving so sluggishly that they can not break free of other particles when they meet. So if the particles lost its energy, it will be slow moving, and the attractive force between these particles will make them together, will attract them together, okay, because its moving will be low. They stay fixed to the same neighbors, they become the particles of a solid. The temperature at which this happens is called the freezing point. Freezing point is the temperature at which the matter change from liquid to solid good. Next, condensing. Condensing is the process which the matter change from gas to liquid. When a gas cools, the particles lose energy, means the particles can no longer break free of other particles when they bump into them. They become loosely attracted to other particles. They become the particles of a liquid. So with the particle of a gas lose energy, it will be less moving or more slowly and attached with other particles to be a liquid. This process called condensation. This happens whenever the temperatures of a gas falls to below its boiling point. So condensation, we didn't have a certain temperatures to have a condensation, but condensation happen in any temperatures below the boiling point of the gas. Another process is called sublimation. Sublimations go straight from a solid to a gas when you heat them, or straight from a gas to solid when you cool them. So they change from solid to gas or gas to solid without pass through liquid. They escape out the liquid states together. This process is called sublimation and happen in different temperatures. Okay. As a summary, solid particles. In solid state, particles vibrate gently, strong attractions, fixed shape and fixed volume. In liquid, particles able to move freely, lose attractions, can change shape, fixed volume. In gas, particles able to withstand very weak attractions, can change shape, can change volume, and when you want to change solid to liquid through melting process, and from liquid to solid through freezing, from liquid to gas through evaporation or boiling, from gas to liquid through condensing or condensation, from gas to solid without pass through liquid, it's called sublimation, and also from solid to gas without pass through a liquid is called sublimation also. Thank you. I hope you understand what we learned, and goodbye.